time, who perhaps would never have stumbled upon the game otherwise. There must be some great talents out there that all of a sudden are realising and learning hand over fist every day. And just because you're new to the game doesn't mean to say you didn't have the talent in the first place.
It's my favorite part of poker, or maybe the part I hate most, is that I've been playing 20 years and I meet people who've been playing 1 month, and well, they're just a lot better than I'll ever be.
So many facets to the game, not just understanding the cards and the pot odds, but understanding the emotions of yourself around a table, reading the emotions and the signs from the other players. So much goes on.
Pass.
It is a wonderful thing to see, and we've got a pot here. Sointula just trying to peel off the flop. Small blind pocket pair, and this looks like a relationship that's going to develop.
And Pyra's got to be careful not to bluff too much against Yanni Sointula, especially if an 8 comes on the flop like that, which will be probably checked. No, he doesn't check at all. My fault.
14,000.
He's hoping he's hit a king.
He's trying to do what Andy did to him.
Oh, don't get involved now.
He is so clever, this Sointula. It looks so much like a bluff, doesn't it?
Here's the value of betting out. It's so easy to slow play. You gravitate towards thinking you can slow play and it wins you more money, but it can work the opposite way, as we saw earlier. Great lesson from Yanni there. Bet your good cards. Oh, and he's raised. He's fallen into the trap. Yanni's done it again.
20,000 more. 34 total.
I tell you what, this game is being played on a very high level.
Unless he thinks he's got kings. A set of kings against a set of 8s. Doesn't happen, does it? Now what does Yanni do? How does he play it from how on?
Really, Steve, 99% of poker players would have flopped that set and tried to check raise. And Yanni knows that, and Yanni knows that Andy knows that, and that's the level this is being played on.
He's now trying to work out, what does he do? Does he just call it? Can he afford to call it with 2 diamonds on the board? He's got to raise. He's got to put him, ask him another question. All in?
Raise.
You re-raise them.
I guess he's just hoping that Andy has a king at this point. Oh!
And he's showing some signs there.
Now, on one hand, you'd think it's an automatic fold for Andy Pyra, but I have the feeling
Okay, 34 more.
that Andy may not be convinced that his ace is losing.
Oh, there was no need to get involved in the first place.
And Yanni has given an opportunity where he hasn't stuck all his chips in. He's trying to make it look like he's willing to get away from the hand. It's what? No, Pyra's got to fold, doesn't he?
Some deep breathing going on here. What would Marty do?
Pass.
Well, Steve, let this be a lesson to all the check raisers, trap players, and slow players. Sometimes a fast play is the way to maximize.
No one to play with? There's always PartyPoker.com.
So the blinds are just about to go up. Let's take a look at how the blinds work in Texas Hold'em. Every poker hand begins with the placing of the button and the posting of the blinds. The button is a disc that represents the nominal dealer. The blinds are forced bets to get the action started. The player to the left of the button puts in the small blind. The player on his left puts in the big blind, usually double the small. Action for this first round of betting will move to the left of the big blind. The button moves to the left with each hand, and the blinds are raised throughout the game to keep the action going.
It's not a real dog, you know that.
Tell you, it might not be a real dog, but that dog can play some cards. And the blinds have now been raised, 2,000 and 4,000. Is that going to change this game at all?
Pass.
Raise.
Raise.
maybe just make the pot slightly bigger.
8 more, 12 total. Pass. Pass.
You almost wonder what kind of air they're pumping in this room. I mean, Dave Clayton hasn't had a look in for a while, and then the queen 6 on the button. This is some poker game.
Well, the strength of the position and the fact that on the button you then have position over your opponents in the next betting rounds to come means that every now and again you are obligated, certainly in your own mind, to be raising on the button just to keep up with the pace of play. But it's got to be probably with bad cards. It must, under normal circumstances, be when nobody else has entered the pot other than the small and big blinds. So he wouldn't have been raising had Yanni put money in beforehand, but we haven't seen Yanni call. I don't think he likes to call, does he?
I don't think any of these players do. I mean, they're all heat winners, and that's probably how they all got here.
Raised. 20 more, 24
Two
total.
nice cards there for Peter. Yanni looks... He has a quick look. Oh, my goodness.
And
Don't tell me this could be all over now. There could be two...
I'm all in.
All in.
All in! What a hellraiser.
Whoa.
All in.
Well, this is kind of what we were expecting to happen sooner or later to Gialis. He makes the over-raise, and now the first time somebody comes back at him, they have a huge hand. And if he calls here, Steve, he's going to be drawing thin. Does he need to throw it away?
Let's have a look.
He's made a raise, but he doesn't have to get involved. And it was a massive raise from Yanni Sointula. But if it goes wrong...
Why do you think Sointula chose to go all in?
Going down.
I haven't got a clue, other than the fact that perhaps it's the only way to get somebody who's putting in big amounts off the pot. The dog's thinking, what have I done here?
Well, Peter Gialis must be considering that if he's in a 50-50 spot, he wouldn't mind gambling. But if he's dominated, or worse, it's bad. He's counting his chips, wants to see how many he can have left, and still, is this the best opportunity he's going to get? That's the question.
Well, I think the worst scenario for Sointula, he's up against a player who hasn't had much experience in the game at this level, panics and goes all in and wins and gets lucky. But I'm sure he has had experience at the game, and I can't believe he's going to be doing anything other than throwing these away. He can't put his money in with a king-queen, surely. Correct. He's frustrated, but...
Queen, king of clubs.
Yanni showed him. I think you're right. I think maybe Sointula was a little bit fearful that anything but that bet would have ended up with a very big pot.
My nickname online is Hellraiser. I've been playing poker over 20 years and 4 years seriously. My biggest tournament win is Monte Carlo Millions last year. First prize, 400,000.
You could say perhaps the television cameras could change the equation somewhat, but it doesn't seem to faze this man. He seems to have so far made more right decisions than we have in the commentary box. or me personally, anyway.
That was a certainty from the start, I think. For us.
That's why he's there and we're here.
Up to 12
We're,
total.
well, I don't think we have to be right as long as we're having fun watching, and I sure am.
I'm going to try and get one prediction right on Yanni's bets, and that will make me so happy that I've got a little bit of action.
But it is amazing how Sointula has moved into the chip lead, although it's the kind of fluid field right now where between Yanni, Dave Clayton, and Andy Pyra, it's a lot of jockeying going on.
Well, I think we've seen enough of Andy Pyra to know that he's prepared to bluff. He's prepared to have a